it just won't work.
Yeah.
Chase has been exposed to a lot living with me because I'm very open about my sexuality and not in a, like, in your face, like, you should be this way kind of way, but, you know, this is who I am, and if you're not cool with it, that's fine. You know, like, I can respect that. But if you don't care, you know, like, this is who I am. This is what makes me happy. So it's been, you know, the last particularly 2 months since he knew that I was poly and bisexual before Preston and I split up. But, you know, I've definitely launched myself into some really fulfilling relationships since then that are not at all, you know, necessarily serious, but are very committed and very loving. And him being, you know, straight and monogamous and on the outside looking in, I dream of a world where people can accept their differences and appreciate them.
Yes.
Yeah, hope that happens too. Eventually, someday, maybe not in our generation, but I'm pretty sure that our generation started it, and I'm pretty sure that more that we tell people, hey, it's okay, and be more inspiration, I do believe we will actually break through to the closed-minded people, say, hey, it's okay to show your body.
I
mean, when I started,
sharing your body, and it's not even like, that's the thing that I express to my monogamous friends that aren't familiar with polyamory, is that it's so much less about the sexual tension and so much more about the emotional connection that you're able to form with other people. You know, even when I'm in a very committed monogamous relationship, I thrive on my intimate friendships. I thrive on, you know, the people that I consider to be my best friends, and being able to hug them when they need a hug, or being able to snuggle with them when they need to be snuggled, or when I need to be snuggled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree.
I guess since we're on the question of what questions we have for you guys, and we're on this topic, I'm pretty sure Craig is still there. I know it's getting late for you.
Oh, I'm here for the long haul.
Okay, where are you on all of this?
Well, I have a lot of complicated looks on that kind of thing. Like, I'm super, 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 super open-minded on pretty much anything. I mean, I figured basically as long as someone isn't being actively hurt or derided for something, then it's pretty much okay.
It's the integrity behind it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't see these things as being a problem. Like, I don't think... I mean, I know people are people, and people get jealous about things, and people get negative emotions and things that crop up, and it's kind of difficult to open up to multiple people at once, but it can be done. Mm-hmm. I've always been basically in single-person relationships. That's just how it's been. I was raised really kind of traditional, which doesn't mean that necessarily my family was super, 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 like, against anything like that. It's just they were naturally very conservative people. And my folks are really open-minded. I mean, I'm sure that if I did something like that myself and was like, hey, guess what? This is what I'm doing. They would probably feel it was a little scandalous, but they wouldn't tell me that I was a bad person for it. And they wouldn't disown me or anything like that. So it's an open-minded yet kind of conservative background I came from, and it's kind of hardwired, but it's in there in a way that I know where I stand on everything, and I don't feel any need to look down on anybody or tell anybody that they're doing it wrong, specifically if they're getting positive feelings out of it.
I definitely feel very similarly. Because
I think that this topic is interesting, particularly to Chase and I, because of our age. So I'm 23. He just turned 22. We're just coming into being fully accepting of ourselves, let alone expressing, you know, our true selves to the rest of the world. So that's probably why our topics revolve around this so much.
It's a bit of a journey too. I mean, I didn't ever feel like as an adult until I hit at least 25 for some weird reason. It just I didn't feel like I had made it to adulthood until then, and even then it took until.
That, though?
Oh yeah, I'm 33 now, so it didn't take till actually getting into my 30s when it was like, okay, yeah, it's fully adult. This is how things are, and I feel relatively mature. But even then,
I have children. Do you have children?
Oh yeah, I have.
When you had your first child.
Well, she's going to be 2 at the end of this month, around Halloween. So it's only been like a couple years now. So kind of late to the parent game. Not planned.
That's where I think we both wanted to be.
I think that's definitely where we both wanted to be. I think part of, we're on this accelerated journey because we both became parents. Like I was a teenager. You were 20, weren't you?
We couldn't buy booze before we were parents.
Yeah. So, I mean, and, I don't mean to, like, I was married at 18. My husband and I had a lot of issues, but very pointedly decided that we wanted a child and intentionally got pregnant and then split up 8 weeks later. And it was, we're really, really good now. My son is 4. He just turned 4. And we've worked really, really hard to form a close co-parenting bond, but that's the only relationship that we have is because we have a child together. But I feel like because we're parents, we have this accelerated lifestyle. And Chase definitely has gone through, he mentioned earlier that him and his partner, the mother of his child, the woman that, he's working really hard to commit his life to, they have their difficulties, and that's part of why he lives with me, which from a band perspective is awesome, and from a sister perspective is awesome. But from a friend perspective, I heard from him when he hurts, because sometimes he really wishes that it wasn't that way.
Oh, I totally sometimes feel so guilty because of it, like, this is the mother of my child, blah, blah, blah. My family is very important to me. It always has been, and I want to continue that, and I want that to be important to my son. And it's very hard to portray that idea to my son when I'm not with his mother, living with them.
Right.
Yeah. There's all of these pressures that society has placed upon us, especially when you have children. You're expected to be in a committed relationship. You're expected to be in a home together. You're expected to have, at least one solid income, if not both, 2 solid incomes, and you're expected to invest your entire life in your child. And I think that Chase and I are great examples of not only being really successful parents and making sure that all of our responsibilities are 100% taken care of, and that all of our, the partners, the people that we choose to share our life with, that they feel validated, and, they feel like they're important aspects of our life, but also being able to, have this stable household that our children thrive on, and also being able to go out and have these adventures and be in this band and be these wild and crazy 20-somethings.
It's so incredible to bounce between both.
We're really lucky. I don't think that I know any other people that are in our circumstances that get to live both lives to the fullest. And I don't necessarily know why we get to do that, because so many people don't. But I'd rather not question the why and just appreciate it, because we literally get to both lives to the fullest. We're both extremely successful parents, and I can say that without a doubt about both of us. We are both financially stable. Yes, we share a household, which helps in so many ways financially, but also emotionally. There's times when I cannot stand my 4-year-old's tantrums, or there's something else going on in my life and I just can't parent, and Chase, without a question, takes over. And there's times when his 18-month-old son starts screaming in the middle of the night, tired to work at 6 o'clock, happily get up and steal. He calls me the Goblin King because I steal his baby and cuddle him to sleep. And it's that co-parenting without being in the friendship that we share and both being parents in this household that makes it so stable, so that we're able to go out and do things like Rogue's End and do things like Fairy Worlds and do things like the Highland Games and the Renaissance fairs that really make our souls full. And that's, my profession, I always am trying to impress onto the parents that I work with that you need to fill your cup before you're able to fill your child's cup. If your cup's running on empty, there's nothing to give to them.
Love tank.
Love tank. Well, I recently made Chase read the 5 love languages. If you haven't read it, please read it. It's really important, not just from a relationship perspective, but from a parenting perspective.
What's it called again?
The 5 Love Languages. There's various, what are they called? Versions? Volumes.
Editions? Volumes?
Editions, yes. There's editions for dads, there's editions for moms, there's editions for teen parents, there's editions for older parents, there's editions for separated parents, but, the original and the volumes beyond that are based off of the original. If you're a parent, or if you're feeling at all concerned about your relationship with your significant other, pick up the 5 Love Languages. You can order it for like $6 on Amazon. Totally worth it. And that system applies not only to your partner in life, but also to your children. There are certain things that will fill their tank, and unless your tank is full, you don't have anything to give. So Chase and I work really hard at making sure, and Robert too. Robert's son is 16, almost 17, very introverted, doesn't spend a lot of time with the band.
I've met him only a couple times.
I've spent more time with him than that, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't like me because I'm so vibrant and outgoing, and I kind of scare him a little bit. Danny's with us all the time. I love being able to steal Danny for the weekend and have like a boys' night. So, especially when Preston and I were together, Preston and Danny are so close. Being able to have that bond and have that parenting bond on top of the band bond, on top of the friendship and the sibling and there's just so many factors of our relationship.
Awesome.
No, we're going to use that kind of to segue into the end bit of the show now, because we're down to our last hour. So now we're pretty much going to be saying our good nights as far as our interviewing goes, and moving on to the recording of the live show from Fairy World.
Yeah. So real quickly, where can anyone find Rogues Inn?
Look us up at Rogues End on Facebook. ROGUES apostrophe EN space END. We have a website, roguesend.com.
We are Rogues! Children sleeping, Robert. I also have to say, we're working really hard on recording or trying to get an album out. It's been a really, really pressed issue. We have a few songs recorded. As of now, we're recording out of my garage, which just makes it more difficult. We're doing the best that we can. Finances are tough. We're looking at doing more professional recording stuff. But our very close friend Victoria, who fell asleep but is on the air at the moment, she has compiled all of our best YouTube videos.
Oh, God, she has a ton. I think she has like 50, 60 videos of us on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah. So, and her YouTube name is just Shield Space Maiden. Shield Maiden. And she has an entire playlist dedicated to Rogues End. I adore her. She's at my house every other weekend. She comes to events and doesn't necessarily tell us she's going to be there, and just shows up in the morning and cooks breakfast.
Cooks breakfast every show she goes to.
She just shows up with food and breakfast. So, us being rock stars, we're all super hungover in the morning, and we wake up to the smell of sausage and bacon and eggs and fresh fruit and coffee. Oh my God, coffee. Victoria is our shield maiden, not only because she protects us through the night, because for whatever reason that woman only needs 2 hours of sleep to survive, but because she also keeps us fueled and ready for the next day and the next set.
Poor woman is sick right now on my couch, and we're trying to take care of her. So.
Oh, well, good thing you're taking care of her. I did not know she was sick. So tell. Yeah. She is a wonderful. She's a wonderful woman.
Pushing you out.
That she is.
She's been trying to get you guys on the show for ever since she knew about the show. Bring Rogues in. Bring Rogues in.
Our biggest.
Gotta talk to them first.
So,
she's an incredible woman.
Yeah, if we have any thanks to give to anybody on this planet, it goes to Victoria.
Such a confidant.
She may not have the most influence necessarily, but she is constantly promoting us. Her opinion of us never wavers, and she's one of our closest friends. I'm so happy to be able to call her sister and to open my home to her and to feel the same compassion if I needed it.
Okay.
No, my mind. Focus is another close friend of ours who's not in the band, but who we've adopted as part of our tribe because we adore her so much, and she's sitting next to me, nodding her head.
And she's gorgeous.
Victoria. She's amazing.
Part of why we're able to do what we do is because we have such a solid support system. You know, like, yes, there's the 5,